Welcome to Give Me Hope with your host and author, Johanna Vendel. Come join the conversation as Johanna focuses on sharing impactful personal narratives of loss. Her platform provides a safe space for individuals to express themselves, find comfort, and build connections as they navigate their grief journey. So now, please welcome the host of Give Me Hope, Johanna
Good day,
Vendel.
everyone, and welcome to Give Me Hope with Johanna. Another amazing day to have a podcast with an amazing person that I have in studio today. The person that I have is not just an author, but he is a business consultant, and he has so much to offer. He also won Author of the Year 2025. Let's welcome Michael Copeland.
Thank you so much for having me today, Johanna. I really appreciate being here. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. I am very grateful to have you in my studio today and to hear more about your story. Would you like to introduce yourself to my viewers and tell them a little bit more about your background first?
Yes. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Michael Copeland. I am a lifelong educator. I am a businessman, entrepreneur, and also an author. I am also an advocate for people and youth and also suicide awareness. I definitely have a strong background in education and teaching, and that's pretty much the emphasis of my books, and also a strong mentoring background as well.
Yes, that's definitely what I picked up from you is that you are a really strong mentor in many different ways. You have a lot to offer people.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes. So, Michael, your books that you wrote, what did you write about? Tell me a little about that.
Sure. So the first I'll tell you about my first three books that I have out so far. So the first book I ever wrote is called The Journey of One Determined Educator. It actually is a series. The Journey of One Determined Educator is my memoir. I fictionalized it because I protect all names, including students and places, just to cover myself and liability issues. But they're all based off my stories, so they're all true events. So
Wow.
in my story, it's about an educator named James Turner, which is me essentially, and so it goes into my testimony. I'm a suicide survivor. That's where my story begins. And that's how, after that event, that's how God saved my life, gave my life back to Christ, and led me to teaching education. So I start off with my own testimony and how God got me through and how I got led to education and working with students in the most at risk, underserved populations in the Ohio area from different cities. So we started a camp back in college, which brought youth from all over the city of Ohio, Toledo, Cleveland, Columbus, and the inner city parts. So dealing with those situations and those children really put my problems into perspective. And that's where my story begins. And that's how I got into education during my college years at those
Wow.
camps.
Wow, that is amazing to hear. It's so unfortunate how something must happen in our lives first before we realize that God is there for us, and doesn't matter how tough and how bad your life is, that you can definitely get up and turn it around and maybe become an author and write a story about it. Hey.
Yes, yes. All my books are based off real life experiences. I only write about what I know and what I've been through.
I also find it very difficult to write a book, and all my books also at this moment is nonfiction, and also it's like you have to have a little bit of background of some kind of story to start to write something. I am now only starting to look into the fiction books, but still I'm using my own life story and turning it into fiction. I take my hat off for the people that can just write fiction from scratch.
I do too. I do. I don't know how those writers do it, and I tip my hat to them because I can only write off my experiences. I don't. I
Yeah.
haven't. Now I'm going to give it a shot because I do plan on doing a children's book with my daughter next year. But I do not know how they do it because all my books are based off my
Of true
experiences.
stories. Wow. And your second book?
My second book is part two to this series. The journey of one term educator, of course, talks about the early years and how I got into education. The second book deals with the core of my career. So moving back to Cleveland, dealing with mid-level career status in the schools. I'm working in one of the most underserved areas in Cleveland, Ohio, and the poverty rate is at 100%.
Wow.
So talking about all the administrative hurdles, all the challenges that students, families, and teachers have to face just to meet academic needs. You know how tough it is now. It was just as tough back then. Um, and so dealing with 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears in one of the most underserved areas in the Cleveland, Ohio area, and one of the most at-risk zip codes in the country, if we're being truthful. So all there's a lot of hurdles, there's a lot of stories, there's a lot of testimonies that came out of that chapter. I mean, of that book, and so. The Journey of One Term Educator couldn't just be one book. I wasn't through with the first when I finished the first one. I knew it had to be a two-part series, and the second one is actually a little thicker because of all the testimonials and all the stories, and telling it through the lens of an educator. A lot of people don't know what educators have to face and the barriers they have to meet in today's world and in the world period. So
Yeah.
telling it in the eyes of an educator is I'm kind of being a voice for the educators who keep this to themselves.
Wow. So are you an educator in a school or a college, or where do you educate?
So at that point in time in my books, I was an educator in the schools. Yes.
Okay.
Currently now I'm an educator for outside services. So I serve as chief of staff for a youth development initiative and also serve in different mentoring organizations. But for many years I was an educator in schools, K-8, K-4, and high school.
Wow. Wow. That's very inspiring.
Yes, and I was also over wraparound services, which used to be implemented in schools to service families who had to service the whole child, whole family needs. So since we were in the uh, in 90% to 100% poverty areas between Tennessee and Cleveland. Book one is Tennessee, book two is Cleveland. And so serving in those areas, wraparound coordinators were essential. So in the books, I talk about how I went from teaching to wraparound services to servicing the whole child, whole family needs.
Wow, that sounds very, very interesting. Um, and your book three?
Book three is an anthology. And I actually got sparked with the idea from Nim Stant. I joined her founders circle after my first International Impact Book Award last November. I joined the founders circle, her former group that she used to have, host for authors. That was once a week. She challenged us to do an anthology, to put together a book of collective stories
Wow.
of like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Um, I actually am proud to say I think I was the only one in the group to take on that challenge.
Wow.
And so when I did, it just grew. So I knew that I had to do a book on a subject that I knew. So that was mentoring and education. And so what I did was she suggested you find about 30 plus people to be a part of it, authors,
Wow.
or new authors. And so I found 30 people in education who worked with kids to be a part of the story. Now, of course, when you get 30 people, we're gonna see who really sticks, you know. So out of that 30, 15 authors stuck to it and completed the
Wow.
story.
Yes, because it's a lot of work,
Yes.
being an author myself, it is a lot of work to just focus on your own story. And if you are the person who is in charge of the book by the end of the day, and you need to get all of those people's stories in, it's like please, people, just finish your story and send it to me, And sure, that is a lot of responsibility to carry on your shoulders there.
Yes, it was, and you said it's exactly it. Of course, I had a specific deadline, but being a writer, and I understand this very, very clearly, it takes people time to write their story. So not everybody
Yes.
was ready by the deadline I set,
Yes.
but but I was impressed though because we only got a month behind. So which for 15 authors is not bad. It could have been further than that. So we actually I expanded the deadline to a month, and everybody was who stayed committed was able to get their entire story in. And by the way,
Wow.
this book is called Less Violence, More Mentoring, the anthology, a book on
Okay.
how to inspire the community. Yep.
And which of your books won the author of the year this year?
So the book that won Author of the Year was the Journey of One Determined Educator Part Two. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yes, no, I actually have a few friends that has been through loss and grief, and I told them, that I want to put anthology together with a few different stories of loss and grief. And my word, it is difficult to get them to write that because they want to do it, but it's to find the time,
There
and
it is.
they are not authors. And
Right.
then to feel, oh, but I need to write my story now. It can be overwhelming, but phew, I think it can just change people's life if they start to write their story down. I think after writing that first story down, it changed your life. That's what happened to me.
It definitely did. I mean, writing my first book changed my entire life. In fact, I didn't even, if you had asked me 5, 6 years ago, if you were to tell me, excuse me, 5, 6 years ago, I was going to be an author, I would look at you like you were crazy. Like, what? I never thought, I never grew up wanting to be an author or thinking I could write a book.
Yes.
so, but my mentor was the one who inspired me to write the book. My mentor is the one who was a consultant for the camps that I was telling you about back in college. So I've had the same mentor for the last almost 20 plus years. And so he's the one who said, Michael, you have a story to tell. You're going to write, you need to write a book. So I was in a very stagnant place in my life where I didn't know what to do or what was coming next. And I was also overweight and had health issues. My mentor was like, okay, we got to get all this together. First off, we're going to get your health together. Second off, you're going to write a book. He's an author. He's written several books on education, and he's the one who inspired me to write. So after that, I spent the next 8 to 9 months writing the first book, and when I published it, that May 1st of 2024,
Mhm.
I was just blown away. This is my baby. This is my story. I actually have a book now. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And then AI is something else. So you have all these awards that pop up, once the internet finds out you're an author. So one of the first awards that I saw was IIBA, the International Impact Book Awards, and it
Wow.
looked very prestigious. It looked cool. So I was like, hey, what the heck? Let me just pray about it, put it in God's hands, and see what happens. Lo and behold, a month later, I got the award. So not only did I become a first time author, but I also became a first time award winning author within a month of me being an author. So all
Wow.
that was just blew my mind. I have not only do I have the story, not only am I just in love with my book, but now it's got an emblem on it. It's like whoa. And then that forced me to apply for other awards. And God is good. I was blessed to become a 10-time award winning author with that book, that first book.
Wow.
Um,
That's
and at the
amazing.
same time, I started writing my second book. I immediately started writing again because I wasn't done. I just fell in love with writing, and it just hasn't stopped. And then the anthology came along after the first IIBA award, and seeing those authors, a couple were seasoned,
Mm.
but a lot of those authors, I would say like nine out of the 15, no, like 12 out of the 15 were first time authors, and
Wow.
seeing them write their first story and seeing how they felt about it was nothing short of amazing. And
Yeah.
then that book, the anthology, was blessed to earn 2 awards. So not only did they become first time authors, they became first time award winning authors, which was powerful.
Wow. I also, you won't believe it, but I also published my first book in May of 24. And that's basically also the story of my life. And someone also told me that you should just write it in for an award because you have such an amazing story. And I was looking at different award places, and I also saw International Impact Book Awards. And I thought, well, let me try. And I actually also won in November, but I could only go and receive my award in February of 2025. And after I had that award in my hand, Michael, it is exactly how you say, you feel so accomplished, that someone has noticed your hard work that you put in. And like you also, my story is not over. And I have now already published 4 books, and the fifth one will be published around the end of this October.
All right,
Like I cannot
congratulations.
stop writing now. It's like I just need to get all of these stories out of my system, like I say, especially after my first book, it is so healing when you write all of that feelings down into your book, and it's a chapter in your life that your mind is stuck in the past. And how many of us people still live in the past
Hmm.
because of all of that that is stuck in us? And as soon as you write it on paper, what I am now saying is I can officially close that chapter in my life and put the book down. And now I'm ready for the new chapter in my life to move forward. It is amazing how much strength it gives you when you have that book in your hand and you can put it down, because you don't have to look back or think back of what happened in the past. You can actually now open the book and read it if you want to, but you can also close that chapter and move forward.
Yes. That is powerful. Yes, very powerful, very powerful. And it's like you said, you can't once you start this process of writing, you can't stop. I already have 2 more books that I'm currently working on. I plan on launching my 4th book on my birthday coming up
And when is
on
that?
in February. It's
Oh,
February
wow.
24th, so I'm
Okay.
almost done with that book. And that book is it's called Laid Off, and I don't know what to do, turning pain into purpose. So now I'm recounting all of my layoff experiences and how God brought me through those time periods, and essentially how it led me to entrepreneurship. So testimonials, but also ways that people can own their own, especially in today's climate. I think that it'll speak to a lot that's going on because the unemployment rate has gone up in our country, and so a lot of people need hope and encouragement. So that's the goal of that book. And then I'm doing a 5th book, which will be coming out next on Juneteenth of next year. And it's a tribute to my grandparents. My grandparents were foster parents for over 50 plus years in the Cleveland community, and they're both have passed on, and I just feel their story was never told. And they took care of so many children. And with foster care having such a bad rep, and there are a lot of unfortunate, foster homes out there that don't do good by children. This one was one that did very well by children, and
Wow.
to the point where the foster children, after so many years of my grandparents being gone, are still connected with us, the family. So,
Wow.
and that has become somewhat of an anthology as well, because I'm getting input from the former foster children who we're still in contact with. I'm getting input from my grandparents' 2 sons, my father and my uncle, and also an adoptive parent that's also in the book. So that book is called William and Jesse, and that audience will be geared towards foster parents and foster care. And of
Wow,
course, my
because I mean, every child that they fostered, I mean, those children each have their own story,
yes,
and to incorporate the views of the different children into the book of how their view was to be adopted or fostered, you know, wow, that can be like so interesting to listen to all those stories. If you
Yes.
ever do that now and you have the kids or the adults who's grown up now and they want to come and tell their personal story of the story that they wrote in your book, please let them make contact with me and I can definitely bring you up with them, maybe, and have a very nice conversation with all of them. That will be such an interesting podcast to have.
Most definitely. We will definitely be in contact with you, especially as we get closer to June. We will definitely be in contact with you. Most definitely. I love that idea.
Yes, yes,
And then
wow.
and then I got a sixth book brewing. So my daughter and I are going to do a children's book shortly after that. So once I get through these next two books, the children's book will be my sixth book. So and then we'll go from there. I'm also in collaboration with other authors who want to do joint books. So more to come. More to come.
Wow, that is amazing to hear. So, what else do you do, Michael? Because I believe that you were saying something about an event that you will be holding.
Yes. So because I am a business consultant. My business is, of course, helping and supporting authors. So aside from proofreading, editing, and empowering authors to become self-published authors, I also host a webinar with my counterpart and good friend Schwartz and Purcell. He's also another IIBA award winner, and I believe he came out in your class in February of 2025. And so him and I have been partnering, supporting authors with our webinars this year. And so we're hosting a final masterclass, which will be October 29th, virtual on Zoom, Wednesday, which is a Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. EST. We hosted our last one in August, and the feedback we got was amazing.
And
So
is this for authors or is it for business people? I just want to
oh,
clear a little. I mean,
sure.
I don't know
It,
anything about it, so please just make it clear.
Sure. So this is for primarily authors and aspiring authors,
Okay.
writers, creatives. Yes. So anybody who is interested in writing a book or is already writing a book. Yes, primarily. Yes.
Okay. And do you have a link that I can put in the description for the people if they want to sign up for you?
Yes. I have the registration link in my email, and I will give that all to you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Then, if anybody is interested to hook up with Michael, then you can definitely look in the description at the bottom. Everything will be there. Wow. So, tell me a little about the event so people know what to expect, so they would want to say, "Oh, yes, I have to go." Tell me.
So this event will have three takeaways for authors. Publish to the power of publishing and self-publishing. So authors will know the difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing, and how we empower and why we empower self-published authors, and how we empower authors to have that authentic voice. It also will give key takeaways of networking and the importance of collaboration with other authors, and building their brands, uh, and also building their author community, building resources, building connections, and growing their book after it is published. And we also have services that we offer that will be advertised at the event. We have an author accelerator program. We also have other resources that will be announced at the event. So pretty much this webinar will teach and empower authors of building their legacy, of being self-published, and also building your author community.
So, this is mainly for brand new authors that need help.
Yes, but also current authors who might need help too, because there are a lot of authors out there who have books, but that's it. They haven't grown their brand. They haven't done any marketing. They haven't
Do
you
you
know
offer marketing for the people as well, or you just tell them how to do it?
we tell them how to do it.
Okay.
So we'll provide a whole plan and take home sheet from that virtual. So anybody who comes to our webinar will have a take home go to sheet of what to do, how to market, and also all the key points that are highlighted from the webinar. Yes.
Wow, that sounds interesting. I should maybe sign up as well, you know.
Yes,
I always say that you're never too old to learn something.
no, no, you aren't, and so and that's why I say any author out there should definitely be a part of it, because you never know you never what key takeaways you might grab. So yes, primarily new authors or inexperienced authors, but also any author out there, period, because you never know what might help you. You never know what question might be asked that might help you. You never know what service might help you, because we're gonna have an author come on that's one of our clients that has had experience with us, and she will talk about her experience and how it's benefited her new book. So you'll have a client experience as well on that
Oh,
webinar.
oh, wow, that's nice. That's nice. So anybody all over the world can actually just connect in because it's going to be online.
Yes, ma'am. We have capacity for 100 people. So, well,
Wow.
98 people, I should say, because we have two seats for myself and Schwartzen. But so 98 people can join. Yes, yes.
And the date? Did you say the date?
October 21st. I'm sorry, October 29th. Wednesday,
October.
October 29th at 7 p.m. EST.
Okay. Well, if you are an author or an upcoming author and you want to connect with Michael, definitely do that. Wow, that is amazing to know that you're helping people like that as well, Michael.
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, little did I know that writing my first book would transform into a business, and I definitely have Nim Stan to thank for that. So that's kind of how my business started. Like, she helped me transform my book into a business, and that's essentially what's happened here. And now I help authors all over the world. Like the first time authors that have came out through my business this year has been amazing. My very first client wrote his first book, being coached by God. We launched it back in the spring, and he's been doing amazing. And I have several other clients who are I've had several other clients since then, and I have several more clients coming through this fall and winter, getting ready to launch their first books as well. So it's just amazing to see these people tell their stories, and now them being authors and being brave enough to put themselves out there. It's really amazing.
Yes, I must say, also knowing Nim Stand and meeting her and how she motivated me, also to become a better author, a better speaker, and more self-confident in telling my story. The first time when I was there, I was still a broken person because I never thought that my book will be good enough to win an award. And personally, I've lost my entire family growing up in South Africa. My mom, dad, three sisters, and my brother. And I could hardly speak on stage that day. It was just so overwhelming. But after meeting Nim and being I kind of mentored in a way, and following them and just seeing what they do and reading her little daily motivational quotes and things like that, has motivated me to just get up and write even more books. It's amazing to see how many people have amazing stories about their lives now that social media is all up and running and it's everything is out there. If you have a story and you're not talking about it, then it's your own fault
Yeah.
because there's
Yes.
so much and so many things that can help you.
Yes, yes, and that's another thing that Nim and them helped me do. They helped me use social media as an easy marketing tool. I mean, like you said, if you're not using social media as a free marketing tool, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
Because I mean, it really has brought so much opportunity to my life. I mean, I've been invited on several podcasts, interviews, live TV talk shows, all because they trained me on how to use social media as a marketing tool, and
Yeah.
so that's one of the things I did learn also in the founder circle. So it just has been a complete benefit to my business and to my books, and so I'm very grateful for it.
Wow. And you can tell any of the authors that day, if you want to, Michael, if they need publicity and they would like to come tell their story to me as well, I'll get them out there. I am still a new podcaster, but my videos are getting out there, and a lot of people has already told me that, oh my word, Johanna, you everywhere.
Oh, don't worry. You are now added to my podcast list. That's typically what I do. Every time I get on a new podcast, I add it to my list and I refer other authors to it. So you're on my list now, Johanna.
Good, good, good. Well, anything else that you maybe can say inspiring someone who has just the thought of writing a book?
The only thing I can say is tell your story. That's what I say in all my speeches, because our testimonies are not for us. Our testimonies are for other people. And never think that your story is not important. You never know what story could inspire somebody who needed to hear it. You
Mhm.
don't know. So
Yeah.
before you say my story is not good enough, or before you start comparing it to other people's stories, remember, even this is scripture. Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Mm.
Um, so never compare your story to somebody else's. Your story has its own value and it's meant to be heard by somebody who needs to hear it. So always be brave enough to tell your story.
Yes. I also believe in exactly those words. I can't even say it better because wow, that is what my podcast is about, is give me hope because me myself, I also was very down, 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 and did not think that I will ever get up again to live my life to the fullest. I was grieving most of the time. I thought that I didn't want to live anymore.
Mhm.
I was also very close to taking my own life when I gave my heart to Jesus, and
Yeah.
ever since then, I cannot tell you how much my life has changed. And even just being by myself, not having my siblings and my parents anymore, I can have a good life, and I can be a good mother to my children now because God do bless us in other ways. Sometimes you think your life is not as blessed as someone else because of all these things happening to you. But look at me. I'm telling my story. I'm out there and it has changed my life. I cannot explain. I'm a 2 times award-winning author. I'm a finalist for Author of the Year 2025. I'm a podcast host and I am an immigrant in the United States of America, giving my kids a better life, So what more do I want?
Amen. Amen. Preach. Amen, Johanna. And I'm so proud of you, and that's so inspiring. And I love the name "Give Me Hope." I mean that's a powerful name for a podcast. So I definitely we're right here with that. And with
Yes.
my actual attempt with suicide, I'm just so thankful that I survived it because I know how it can get to be that point. And it's not, even though I only had one attempt, your mind can go back there, what I'm saying, if you let it, and you have to fight off those demons, and that's part
Yes.
of being saved and remembering who God is and remembering the purpose upon your life and the importance of it.
And
So
if you think back on what you wanted to do, because I think back on what I wanted to do many times, and I was very, very close to doing it, but something stopped me that day. And every time when I go back in my memory and think about that day, then I'm thinking to myself, how could I have been so low in my life that my mind
Yeah.
wanted to make me do things that I was not supposed to do, you know.
Right.
And then when you overcome that, you realize that, wow, people should
Powerful.
people shouldn't even go there.
No, no, but unfortunately, it's real life and it's a real thing. And I just hope that, especially with my first book, I hope that it inspires not just educators and teachers, but suicide awareness and the importance of mental health, because it's a real thing, and
Yes.
therapy is a blessing.
Yes.
I am all for therapy and talking to people, and of course, giving your life to Christ and letting God take over.
Yes.
I'm definitely a big advocate of that, and I also hope that the book inspires that in people as well.
Yes. Wow. Well, Michael, I'm really grateful that you came to share your story and that you are doing all these good things to help other upcoming authors and people struggling to write their books, that you are a mentor for them as well. So thank you from my side for people who needs help like that.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for all the work that you do, and thank you for providing this platform for authors to share their story.
You're very welcome. Well, thank you so much for being on my show. I will interview another amazing person next week. And if you have a story to tell, please reach out to me. You are watching Give Me Hope with Johanna. I will see you next week. Goodbye.
This has been Give Me Hope with your host, Johanna Vendel. Join Johanna each week and harness the transformative power of storytelling to facilitate healing and growth. Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Eastern on the